boys and girls.
Are you ready?
Talking junk in the break room. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Talking Junk.
We are live!
In the break room.
Welcome to the break room. We live this week. Special guest Louie G, host of the Robots versus Dinosaurs podcast. How you doing today, Louie?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Jason?
Doing pretty good. We also got, as always, my main man Tyler. What's going on, Tyler?
Yeah, just holding it down this holiday season.
Miss China, how you doing?
Hello. Happy holidays, everybody.
Now, let me get this off. I don't know how Downey does it. All right.
Apparently, he does it again. From
I hope he does for Ironheart. I hope he does, but he'll be coming back as AI if he does. But that's another conversation. We don't want to go there just yet. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good. How are you? How was your Christmas?
Christmas was okay. Got to spend it with my kids and my wife. The best thing that I could ever ask for. How was your guys' holiday?
It was good. Spent it with family. Got some cool gifts. Outside of at the moment feeling kind of shitty. It was good. So thankful for that, especially with this year.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah.
But before we get into the main topic, Talon, let's bust out a little movie review.
All right.
Did you see Tenet?
I did see Tenet. I did. And I did quite enjoy it. So did you want to do like a recap of the movie, or are we just going to kind of talk about thoughts here?
Well, let's not recap it for those who want to watch the movie.
Thank you. I know. Sorry, I slacked.
I was going to
It
say
does star John David Washington in an amazing role.
Yeah.
His wingman, David Pattinson. Wonderful job. Great movie. What was that?
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I thought you said David Pattinson.
I said David? Whatever. Batman, the new
Him
Batman.
too.
Yeah, him too. He was in the movie somewhere. We'll see. But the movie from start to finish was great. I feel like Washington really tried to channel his father in this movie. Although he doesn't quite look like him, he sounds just like him at times. The acting was superb, believable. What did you think?
I thought for a story that's as deep and not overly complex, I know there's people that are saying like it's Christopher Nolan up his ass. It's not. I think it was very refreshing to see him take time travel and multi-dimensional travel and everything like that and kind of remix it in a new way. Maybe it's not perfect, but rarely things like that are going to be because it's a concept and we're trying to make it as real as possible. So I think it speaks to the coherence of what they had of the film because it's so well acted. You can kind of tell if something's really confusing for actors, if they're working the material doesn't really make sense. It shows in their acting. And everybody that was in the film seems like they really got what was going on and understood at least their role, even if they didn't understand the entirety of the film. So that was really nice to see. And it had enough moments that when you were just kind of like on the brink of going, what the fuck? It would hit you with a scene or hit you with an example of what it was talking about. Be like, oh shit, okay, now I get it. And then that whole flip when they started to incorporate the like reverse world more into the film, that was really cool. And that whole concept and everything, and then just the retracing of things, the very Memento-esque aspects to it, all really cool. So I would definitely recommend watching it, and it's definitely a film that is worth watching again just because there's so much to take in from the film. But it's not something that you should necessarily judge one off, especially if you don't like it, but you kind of do. Give it another watch because there's a lot to take in, and you might check things out that you didn't the first time. But definitely a recommendation for me on that one.
To me, it was great. It
What is
reminded
it on?
me.
Is it on any platforms or you have to buy it?
You can rent it on Amazon. Any platform where you can rent movies, you can rent it on there.
Although I would recommend going to Target and getting the Blu-ray DVD digital for $24.
Okay.
That good?
Yeah.
Oh, it's that good.
That good?
It reminds me of.
All right.
Go ahead, Louie. What was that?
The Prestige is my favorite Nolan movie. How would you compare it to The Prestige?
I would say that The Prestige is a little more grounded in the way that it handles that material. It uses it in a more magical aspect. I think this one uses it in a way that's more awe-inspiring and more just kind of like it points out in the film not thinking linearly, and that being one of the protagonist's issues initially. And I think that's kind of the angle it's going. It's like, so what if we just took what you knew and thought about it a bit differently? And it's being able to take that and put it into the story it's telling is done just as well as The Prestige. But I would say the way its handling of it comes off a bit differently. Plus, The Prestige, in terms of its scope, is just much smaller. Tenet is a world-ending scenario kind of a thing going on, whereas The Prestige is much more smaller in what it's involving and everything. So that also kind of changes it and whatnot. But at least in terms of quality, I love The Prestige as well. I'm generally kind of a Chris Nolan fan, so I am biased, but I also try to just look at it from afar as well. But I really enjoyed it. And if you like The Prestige, I think you'll like what's going on here.
I know a lot of people question if there's a lot of movies inside the so-called Nolan verse, but I will tell you, if there's one movie that I hope is linked to this one, it would be Inception. Inception and Tenet kind of have the same feel to it. Different kinds of sci-fi, but all linked, I believe, probably to the same company. If you get down to the nitty-gritty, hopefully, but it has that type of feel to it, and it doesn't leave you guessing like Inception does. It's kind of straightforward.
Yeah.
I will tell you this: it was fun watching a movie in reverse as it plays out. So it was great.
Yeah, that was really cool. The visual effects aspect of it was also really interesting. And apparently he worked with somebody he had never worked with for it and had never done action films either. And taking that into account, they did a really good job with what was some groundbreaking sequences in that film.
Cool.
At least in my opinion. I'm no expert.
It was amazing, though.
Just want to say good evening to Donna and to Sunshine on Facebook.
Hello.
Good evening. How you doing? So let's get down to it. Before we get down to it, Louie, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Cool. So I'm Louie G. I'm a podcaster in New York City. I live in Queens, Astoria. I'm a sketch comedy writer. I write for this show and this monthly show in New York. It was a live show, when we could do when it was legal to do live shows. But it's called Our Bar, and we performed in a bar. Like, the bartender was one of our actors, and it was this sort of like show where the show would, like, you'd just be sort of at a bar drinking, and the show would just kind of happen. It would pop up around you. It was kind of a cool, like, unique thing. We've because of COVID, obviously, we've had to like switch to doing an online format, but we're having fun with doing it that way and like just writing sketch comedy for Zoom. And so you can check out our shows on our Facebook page, on Our Bar's Facebook page. And other than that, I'm a podcaster. I have a podcast called Robots versus Dinosaurs, where we talk about movies. We do like movie reviews. And I always invite a guest on, and we talk about a movie that they like with a robot and or a dinosaur in it. So kind of my thing.
What's your favorite episode to date?
Favorite episode of
Robots versus Dinosaurs. We
Oh,
gotta
gotcha. So I got this. I met this girl that does. She was on TikTok actually. Her name's Eliza Peterson. You should definitely check out her TikTok. It turns out she's a paleontologist in real life, and she had this really funny TikTok video she made. And so I reached out to her, and we reviewed The Land Before Time because that's her favorite movie, and that's what made her want to be a paleontologist. So that was just a really, really cool, fun interview. Like I got to learn a lot about the science and like the actual science that she does out in field research and stuff. We just got to geek out on a fun movie that everybody loves. So
I'm sorry, what was her name again?
her name is Eliza Peterson. She's really, really fun. Her TikTok videos are amazing.
Thank you.
So, Quiet Mind's got to know. What's your favorite dinosaur movie?
Jurassic Park, hands down. It's the best one.
The first one.
Which one?
Yeah, no question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I gotta agree. But what about your favorite robot movie?
Favorite robot movie's got to be Terminator 2.
Not Johnny Five?
Short Circuit's good, but man, the T-1000, like the liquid metal, like that's such an original idea. Just not just for robots, but just like as a movie monster, that's such an original thing. Like the T-1000, it can't be overstated how cool of a movie villain that thing is.
Oh yeah, no question. No question. I don't question your logic. Those are some pretty solid choices. But why don't we get down to the nitty gritty now? What are we here to talk about today, Louie? Why don't you take the reins?
Yeah. So since we're talking about robots, I wanted to talk some junk about how people are worried about the robot apocalypse coming someday. Like Skynet in Terminator, Skynet is going to become self-aware, and then the robots are going to decide to just destroy all of us in a nuclear war. That's always seems to be the scenario, like robots rising up, they exterminate us, they eliminate us violently. But I think the robot uprising, like for one thing, has already happened. It's already here. And that's kind of the nature of it, is that it's surreptitious. It just like, it's something we don't see coming because it's just happening gradually and in a subtle way. Because the biggest example of it is just like the internet and how much we rely and depend on the internet. Because if you think about it, like the internet, it's not like a robot like the Terminator with like arms and legs and a CPU or whatever, but it is a robotic thing. It's an automated thing that I would argue, since we invented it, it can never go away. Like you could unplug everything. Humans will reinvent the internet because we just need it now. That's my theory. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Chance, why don't you tell us your theory?
Hello to the Talking Jack fans. I'm sorry I'm a little late, guys. Hey, Louis. Well, I'm gonna give my opinion on that, on the scientific with the robots and like the robotic takeover of the world. For me, I feel like we've been able to like integrate them in our lives to help us live more conveniently. Like you see, like we have like all these apps to control our lighting in our house, our boiler systems, our security systems. There's even ways like now there's cars that you can start your car off your phone. You know what I'm saying? So the best thing that we can do with to avoid the robotic takeover, I feel like we need to make limits on things and maybe get back to like working more hands-on so it doesn't look like we're so dependent.
We'll get into how they already broke those limits in a lot of ways.
No, because I was working like how I knew like there was a robotic like in a way like that era was gonna come was like I worked in Amazon this year, right? So Amazon as a warehouse, like they make you sign a contract for you not to like to record in there because they're so ahead of everybody else when it comes to like warehouses. Like I don't know if any of you guys ever worked in an Amazon warehouse. there's so much technology in that warehouse. Like there's arms moving packages like bionically by themselves and nobody attending them. Like there's so much things that work by itself, literally. Like people are just there to just do the basic thing of just putting something in a bucket, which a robot can't just do. And that's the only thing that they have literally humans in that warehouse for. Which I hope I don't get in trouble. Anybody who works in Amazon, don't get me in trouble.
You still work there?
No, I don't work there no more. So I think
How long was the contract for? How long was the contract?
I think it was this year. Was earlier this year. I was working for a little bit right when the pandemic started, because I did it because they were paying really good money and I was getting $40 an hour after 40 hours. So why not? I made a quick buck real quick. So that's how, like, for me, like, it's we're getting there little by little, especially when it comes to where people in this world, we have like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. Like these two dudes for me are like, you see how like everybody grew up off Bill Gates and Warren Buffett and everybody. These dudes are the Bill Gates and Warren Buffett of the generation coming up now for me. Especially Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. Look, they're like number 1 and 2 in the world. Back in the day, number 1 and 2 in the world was Bill Gates and Buffett. And now they're not there. They're 3 and 4, and they pass the mantle down to like that younger generation of like who are gonna be like the next pioneers of like taking that next step of technology to the world. For me, that's my opinion.
What do you think, Tyler?
I think it kind of depends on what your overall view is. Like, is the takeover of robots an optimistic one or is it a pessimistic one? Is it an end of humanity or is it a strengthening of humanity? So for me, I think that it would be a great strength to humanity, but because man sucks, I think he would use it for nefarious means and do some accidents that just fuck us up. And we can't come back from it because we're like, it might be great for like a handful of us, and then we can squeeze out the rest of the people, and then it just ruins our infrastructure, and then we go back farther than we know how to handle ourselves, which ultimately just ends at least Western civilization. Other countries, I think it would end
Eastern civilization more than anything, because the Japanese are really, really heavy on that robotic stuff, especially on the eastern side of the hemisphere, the eastern hemisphere of the world. The Japanese, for me, they'll be the first people to ever like to pull out a transformer. If we're ever gonna actually see one before, and for me, will be the Japanese.
There is one.
They got a walking Gundam.
And yeah, don't they have like, what was that show about that? It's not Transformers. What's that other cartoon show?
They have an 80-foot Gundam that they built.
Yeah, Gundam. Yeah, Gundam. They have an 80-foot Gundam.
They do.
Like,
but they also have a transformer. Somebody made one out of a BMW.
Exactly.
Or BMW
let's say if somebody were to program their computer to be like an asshole or some shit like that, the robot's gonna be an asshole. You know what I'm saying? So it's there. It's like, for me, like especially in Japan, like Japan is so far ahead, and I've been there. You know what I'm saying? I'm an 8-year vet, so I like seeing like there's things that I saw in Japan in 2008 that we have here now, and this was 12 years ago. I saw that. Like, I don't know. I don't know if you guys remember, there was a camcorder. You know, when they started like making camcorders smaller. I don't know if you guys remember. Like, there was a big one, and then when they made that camcorder, like, you just had to make that little flip. That came here to the U.S. That hit the U.S. market in 2004. They had that in Japan in 1996.
Well, let me show you guys something real quick.
I'm sorry if I talk too much, guys. I get a little caught up with stuff.
No, you're good. You're good. Let me just show you this real quick. Oh, forgive the ad. This is not my ad. Today we're being sponsored by Talking Junk, the podcast. Go to Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, wherever the fuck you listen to your podcast. Like, subscribe, and share. But look at this real quick.
This is crazy. There it is. That's insane.
I didn't think they were gonna show all the man hours and shit it took. I think the video is only like 30 seconds though, but watch.
That is amazing.
Yeah, you can't see the seams. That's
I don't know if
Like
it's a
nothing. Like there's
functional.
no. It looks like a normal
working
car. It
car.
literally looks like a normal car.
It
I wanna
does.
see
Where
it, like, when
how
it-
I seen it was rolling into a showroom like it was a car. I don't know if it's remote control or if there can. I doubt there can actually be a rider.
You never know. Like it's all adjustments with everything. That's all it is.
I don't know, bro. Look at that shit.
There probably can be someone who's vertically challenged.
A lot of calculus went into this. Look at that shit. That shit is crazy.
what?
Yo, look at that. Look, yo. Like they looking
Yeah,
at it like,
think there
holy
can-
shit.
I think there can be a driver in there, but it definitely has to be a vertically challenged person because they would just like lay back at that point.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And it's moving his head and everything.
Huh.
Yo, that's fire.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm skeptical as fuck.
Yeah,
I'm a,
but it's a cool
Like,
looking movie product. Very good.
it's really dope. It's really like, come on, if we were like out somewhere, you see like a car turn some shit like that, you're gonna be like, holy shit.
That looked like camera trickery. I'm not gonna lie. I've seen a lot of shit on the
Yeah, man,
tubes.
the internet's a horrible place, man. They got me too. They've got me good a couple of times. That I thought it's real, but it's fake.
Can't
Like, I'm
hear
like, damn, they're good.
Jason, you're muted.
I said I seen it on video. The person that was introducing it or whatnot said the head can move 120 degrees, and I think it could walk and take a couple of steps. It could definitely move his arms.
So like that's kind of cool and shit, but I wouldn't be worried about people trying to do that just because pneumatically and like what it actually takes to move a giant hunk of metal and shit is not feasible. Tracks maybe, but we don't have the technology to really have enough stuff like that in a large way.
Wait, hold
That being
on.
said, we got people like Boston Dynamics who have their dogs and have been working on robots for years to where now they went from one that could barely take a step on its own to being able to hop up different heights at like angles for platforms and stuff like that. People like Boston Dynamics is who I'd be looking for robotics. I wouldn't really any car company, especially one that looks like it comes from Pripyat. I don't think I'm too worried about what might they be putting out there. As in terms of a visual effects video, that was pretty cool because it looked like it used like practical and visual effects really well. But once it showed its robot face and it's like somewhat staticky, it's like, okay, somebody put thematic elements here, and you don't do that if you're advertising an actual concept because then people won't take you seriously. So, cool idea. I think if anybody's going to do that first, it'll be Tesla, but they ain't going to tell us. Just
I have a
download
question.
and just have it transform while you're standing up now. Cool.
I
You
don't
know
think
how
you could get that with $600, buddy.
You get a down payment,
I
right?
was gonna say I want his stimulus check.
And I wanted to answer back on like one of the greatest robot movies of all time. You know what's a really good robot movie? Very underrated.
Hey,
Chappie's a very underrated movie.
check
Yeah, Chappie's a pretty good movie.
Chappie's a very, very highly robotic and very underrated movie. Like, like how it was able to have like the robot itself have a consciousness, so it's able to download the conscience of the human memory or like the concept of like, let's say, of what that person was, because he didn't literally download the person that raised him or anything. He downloaded a concept of what she was into that. And that is just crazy how he moved the spirit of the human, like the spirit of the human into a robot. And that shit is like gold. Like that for me could be an actual thing that if maybe rich people, I know rich people would do it more. If they want to like keep a family member around a little longer, they'll probably download their thing into a robot or into something.
It was kind of like the same thing with iRobot, though.
Well, you ever heard
what AI?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
but
they
the
made
AI
a clone. They made a clone. But that was a clone though, like a clone that looked like a human. We're talking about just robots. Like that AI, it looked like a little boy. It literally looked like a little boy. It wasn't, but it was identical to a human. Like any real, like look, he was able to get away from getting killed because they were like, oh, he's a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like you feel me? That's how good the consciousness of that child was downloaded into that robot. It made you feel that human connection towards it for you to like do something. Because if you see a robot crying, oh save me, it was just a fucking robot. But if you see a kid crying, you're gonna be like, oh my god, it's a child.
Speaking about human connection with robots are taking over everybody's job, even the sex industry.
Yeah, they don't get so far in that industry, I think, though. I think if anything, that'll help expose the need for human connection and sexuality and all that.
Yeah. I've heard that.
It's also how like all advances in technology happen because of the sex industry or porn industry. Like technology is driven by those markets.
Check this out.
I don't know. I don't know if you guys watch Vice. You guys watch Vice? Like Vice? The pussy pocket. There's some shit called the pussy pocket. Like I'm like a vagina in the pocket. I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, that looks like what this video is. What are we talking, Jason?
Well, fuck your pussy flashlight and whatever the hell you're talking about. This right here is a full-fledged sex robots, my friends, by Mitsubishi.
Wow. Mitsubishi.
I told you the Japanese.
The Eclipse model.
I told you those Japs don't play.
The 32, 24, 36 model.
Shit, it's moving. Oh, that's unsettling.
Oh, I think it does more than that, my friend.
Yeah, man, I don't know.
I think it does more than move.
That's creepy, like Disney park animatronic like movements. That creeps me out. That's unsettling.
Right, because if they can do it for a sex robot, next thing you know, that's going to be giving you a tour in a museum and looking at you funny. You know what I mean? You can go to.
They already got the human. They already got those dolls. They already got those sex dolls already. So all they have to do is just put a little bit of consciousness in them, and that's it.
Matthew's absolutely right. He's talking about the movie Artificial Intelligence with the actor that played in The Sixth Sense.
Haley Joel Osment.
Yeah. That was a great movie.
It was a really good movie.
Speaking of kind of like a throwback, do y'all remember Bicentennial Man with Robin Williams?
Hell yeah, that was really good. I totally forgot that. That's a classic.
I think a little bit for what
Rest in peace with Robin Williams.
You know what's crazy about Bicentennial Man? That's the first movie I've ever seen where the difference between a robot or a cyborg, like a cyborg is like part organic, part robot, or part cybernetics. That's the first movie, Bicentennial Man, where I've ever seen a robot that tried to become human. Like it created human organs to put into its robot body to become less robot and more human, rather than like a human becoming a cyborg the other way around. I can't think of any other movie or like fiction.
You know what movie that's like that, relatable to that? Alita. Alita's a cyborg.
Alita's very similar to that.
Alita's a perfect example of a cyborg because they took human parts of her, and then they just put her like in that robot body.
Did she start out as a person, or did she start out as a robot?
I think she was a person first, and then they built her, and then they tried to keep her alive. They put like robots in robot pieces. But they gave her like a warrior body. I think it was like she was like a war, like because it was like an advanced way of a robot. Like she was like a warrior. That's how she was able to do all that. That was a dope ass movie too. Like highly underrated too. Another underrated movie.
That was like a more of a kidder friendly RoboCop.
I don't know. The last RoboCop that they came out sucked.
What are you talking about?
It was
now?
very,
I like
bloody.
the old ones. The classics are my favorite RoboCop. Like there's nothing's gonna beat like when he went with the jetpack and went and faced like the Japanese cyborg with the two samurai swords and shit, and they were doing like that scene with Robo. That shit was so dope, bro. Like that was like I was a kid, like, and I was like my mom definitely knew she had to get me RoboCop that year for sure, for sure.
Well, there ain't many fictional characters that really adapt a human lifestyle. Not too much. Just maybe the top 10 you could probably name, but not more than that. I definitely don't think you can name more than that. But there is one in real life who is a citizen of Saudi Arabia. Her name is Sophie the Robot.
I tried to get her on the show, but
She got into a feud with Chrissy Teigen.
Did she?
Yeah, Chrissy Teigen, like something about like she was like, oh, I think she needs some makeup tips on Twitter. And Sophia clapped back on her. I forget what she said, but some
That's
creepy
what
robot shit.
Robots clapping back. I think we have our priorities a little askew. Just a little.
Let's see if we can find it then. Sophie the Robot. And
but shout out to TT. I do not know of an 80s TV show about a little robot girl.
Small Wonder.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Looks like we got your Small Wonder. I'm not familiar with that show. Though, taking it back to like 80s television shows, Data from Star Trek was always a really cool character to me because he's an android, but like I feel like the character itself very well portrayed the idea of something that's absolutely not organic and human, often portraying ideas or concepts better than humans themselves. And like senses of emotion as well, which is really cool. I like the journey of Data as he becomes more and more human.
I just found that Jay
another
too.
Robot that like his like number one wish is to stop being a robot and become more human, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's
so much about
the
robot that's
yeah, they definitely got into it on Twitter over makeup.
yeah, they did. But what about just some small aspects of AI taking over? What about Alexa, Siri?
Don't say that too loud. My thing just lit up on the side of me.
Alexa, how do you
have her. Shut up. I have her everywhere.
Alexa, sing me a song.
I actually got an Echo Dot upstairs for Christmas. It's still up there though. I don't know if I trust it.
I have her in every room. I have the regular one in my office. I have a show with the video in my kitchen. I have the Fire Stick in my living room. My younger son just got a mini show in his room. I have a big show in my bedroom. I have the one in my car. I have it everywhere. It's like taking over my life.
So
implement it correctly.
I have Google Home.
Implement it correctly. You can use her to turn off your lights, lock your doors, do everything.
Oh, I tell her to turn on my Christmas tree.
Your
In the summer, I
thermostat, she
tell her
does
to turn on my AC.
everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I think is fascinating? Is you're saying her, not it.
Yeah.
Right.
First step towards slavery.
Yeah. That gains the consciousness on its own.
Well, I will tell you this though. I call Siri a he because I have a male voice on my phone. So Siri's a he and the other one's a her. I'm just not saying her
so
name.
does my
It'll
wife.
go
She
off
got that
everywhere in my
Australian
house.
guy.
So do I.
I use the Australian one. I use the Australian voice. I use the Australian voice. It sounds such more pleasant and such polite,
Red
like in
light,
the Australian
camera
voice.
ahead. Mhm.
Especially when I'm using my GPS. Make a right turn here. Like, I'm like, perfect. I'm like, wow.
I'm very good with assigning genders where they need to be. In my life, you have to.
Okay, yeah. So, how was everybody's Christmas?
Awkward
Huh.
silence. You're
So
late.
I
We
was
discussed
just
that. We can't.
Silence.
so and are you a gamer,
Okay.
Louis?
So
Well, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what.
Are you a gamer?
Casual gamer. Like I play Smash Brothers. Like I have a Nintendo. I'm not into like Fortnite or anything like that though. I haven't like gotten into those.
Are you
Have you seen?
Deus Ex?
Oh, I'm familiar with it. I played one of the old PC ones. I haven't played it in a long time. But
Did you
that's,
say
it's a
Day
cool
of
game.
Sex?
Deus Ex.
I was gonna ask the same thing, Jay, because that's
David.
the same thing I heard. So I was like,
Yeah.
what?
You
I
hear
heard
what
it's
heard that
hear
too.
with
I heard it.
is
I was like,
incorrect things.
Hey.
I'm like, did he say that? I'm like, I'm gonna wait till one of them makes the question. I'm like, I know one of us is gonna ask them.
But yeah, I was curious if you had seen that because Deus Ex has always been
Day of
a very
Sex.
interesting show. Deus Ex.
You were saying Day of Sex.
Deus
When you
Ex.
say it, please say it slow, because I hear Day of Sex.
Me too. It comes off Day of Sex.
Definitely.
Oh my god, that's
Where's Minnie when you need her?
Deus Ex. Deus.
It's like Deus Ex Machina, but
Deus Ex Machina.
so
All right.
funny.
In that
Okay,
game,
okay. DUES or some shit like that, right?
yes. Deus. Deus.
Okay.
Deus Ex.
That's gold.
Anyway, in that shit, motherfuckers is trying to take over the world. Specifically,
I'm just saying,
they
we
draw
thought you were
from.
talking about sex while you look like you're in a cell.
Why do you think I'm always in a car, man? I don't want you to know where I'm coming from.
We're gonna get you some posters.
I have stuff, just not directly behind me on this wall. It's just
I'm only fucking with you.
I know. I'm over here trying to ask a question for 10,000 years. Anyway, in that game, they got a lot of the actual like real world conspiracies that are in there, like with the Illuminati and like how they're trying to take things over and how they're utilizing technology as a drive to almost pretty much create the perfect set of like consumers and people that are just relying on technology and AI being dependent upon that to such to the point that the most popular newscaster on the planet is unknown to anybody, not real. She's not real at all, but she's the most popular newscaster. There's the biggest personality for news, everything like that. She gets all the interviews, does all the stuff. Nobody knows that she's actually an AI and stuff like that. In the game itself, you get a choice to a certain degree, and depending on which ones you're playing, especially if you're playing the more recent ones, if you want to be more cybernetic or if you want to kind of retain more of your humanity, and you can kind of make that choice in terms of yourself, how you build your body, and how you interact with other people that are human and those that are just cybernetic or both, and they're extreme and they want to kill the other side or they think the other one's not human. What do you think? I guess I'll ask about the idea that there might be those that essentially make the technology for us have perhaps an intention for us to kind of be like that, to where they want us to have all the consuming phones, all this stuff. Like, I mean, look at all the things that link with your iPod or with your Samsung, how they're all inclusive and together, and how there's just more and more and more stuff. Like, nobody honestly needs a technology watch the way it is. Like, it's convenient, it's cool, but it's just transferring stuff from your phone to your wrist so you don't have to look at it with your hand and free up your hands. Like, that's what they're trying to do with glasses. They couldn't figure it out, so they went to the wrist. So we're on the wrist and stuff like that. I feel like I don't know if it's technology that's taking us over or if man is taking us over with technology. You know what I mean?
Right now, it got to be a little bit of both, bro.
To where if AI took us over, it's probably because it's disappointed. Just like you guys are gonna just fucking destroy yourselves. I need to take over and take these reins, or you're just gonna end your own species. I feel like that would be more of an angle than an AI being like you're inefficient and should be destroyed, because AI that's intelligent understands the purpose of it. So I never really got the idea that robots would be more like humans, unless humans were just generally a threat to life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think robots are gonna violently eradicate us. I think they're gonna make us their pets. I think there's more like the Wall-E future is probably the most accurate future.
Yes, I was gonna bring that up.
Because like complacency
Big and large
is really the goal, you know, like it's everything you're saying. Like they've learned how to target exactly the right advertisements to your advertising profile, like the things you click on, how long in between clicking on things. They have all of this information, like all these crazy that they, you know what is really crazy? They know how hard you press on your phone when you're angry about something, or like when you're reacting with a certain emotion to something. Like that's the kind of shit that they take into account, how fast you type. So it's like, it's insane how much they already know. And they're building all these profiles to get you. I was thinking about this the other day. Like I was making a list of shit I need to pick up at the grocery store and the dollar store. And I was thinking like there was so much on it that I'm like, I don't need that because that's automated. I don't need that because that just comes in a monthly subscription box. Like I don't need toothpaste. That comes in my monthly, like I have my soap comes in a monthly subscription box. Like, so I'm like, what am I'm just going to the store for fresh air at this point.
Yeah.
It's not even fresh with everything going on.
Yeah.
I just seen a goddamn commercial for
a complacent Wall-E future. Sorry, go ahead.
There's subscriptions for fucking bats, bro.
Yeah.
Bats. Who needs that much bats like that? Like there's a subscription, a monthly subscription for fucking
like
bats.
For bats or
Baseball
for bats?
Yes. No. Fuck that. I would not be bringing that up. I don't.
I know. I was
I'm terrified of bats. All right.
Your nephew would need that. Your nephew would need
baseball bats.
Your nephew would
a
need
subscription.
that.
Well, look it up. Bat Monthly, I think it's called, or some stupid shit like that.
That's crazy.
And if you don't,
unless you're a little league coach,
if
like
you don't need the bat,
Yeah. Hey, fuck off. On 54 through 2-1, ASO 5.
yes, ASO,
Okay,
suck a ball. Not both, just one.
I can't see the comments.
Yeah, I mean,
Right or left? Just
Some
next.
guy on
Come
Twitch
on.
says, "Do you want to become famous? Do you want to become famous? We can make you famous.
We'll make you famous.
Excuse me for a
Yeah,
second.
you'll want to start an OnlyFans after that. Remember, I
but
said
going
just
back,
one ball though, just one.
but going back to what you guys were saying, like how they
No,
record
hold
everything.
on,
that
hold
we,
on. Wait. 1 second. There really is a bat subscription.
I told you
I
that.
mean, my kid's 11 and he's a pitcher. Like he's on a travel team, but I don't think he needs a new bat every month. That is a bit much. And you have to.
Well, if he's a pitcher, he ain't batting. So no, he would need a glove subscription.
You cannot. You cannot pitch.
Please, because a lot of pitchers they tend to like waste the cleats a lot easier because the motion of the feet that they have to do on the ground. So their cleats go through more than what a lot of regular.
What that got to do with a bat?
Yeah, but when you're,
I know.
But
we
when
have
you
red
pitch,
cleats. We have blue cleats.
no, yeah, you see that's all because you know when they pitches them, they pitch with a mechanic. So like when they're grinding their feet
Bat
down,
Club,
they
you owe me some money now.
I know how it works.
Yeah.
Bat Club, you should come sponsor the next episode of the Break Room.
Yeah, you owe me money
Bat
now.
Club USA.
Shout out to
But going back to what you guys were saying, you know what's a really good movie that
needs that many bats, bro?
That's what I'm saying. Like he doesn't.
unless
Maybe
you're
a
breaking
little
them.
league, but then you only get one fucking bat a month, so that's not good for a little league either.
You just gotta have to earn it. That's all. Like each month, it's like, and eliminations are all year. If you get a bat by the end of the year, you're on the team.
They're not going to be in business very long because they take the bat back, even if the bat is fucked up and all that other good shit.
No
So
offense. I feel like maybe it works for somebody who's like pursuing professionally, And when you're
Why?
But
Because
hold
if
on,
you're in the
Jason, hold
minor
on, because I'm
league or
Dominican and
you're on a
I play
professional
a lot of. I
team,
used to play a
they
lot of ball.
provide the wooden
There's like,
bats
yo,
for you,
I
though,
used to see
bro.
a lot of wood. Like when they play with wood bats, a lot of wood bats would break certain angles how they would hit the ball. So
Okay,
sometimes
but at that
when
point,
you're like
the
consistently playing,
team
that
or the
happens.
owner already has bats. They have a surplus, and if they don't have a surplus, they have somebody that's distributing the bats for them. And at one bat a month, the fucking monthly club is useless to them.
Oh, you just get 12 subscriptions.
And if I would get a
Yeah.
subscription, and the only place that I'm only
That's
getting a bat
why the
subscription is
fucking
Louisville Slugger.
bats
That's the only
wholesale.
place I'm getting a bat subscription from. I'm getting a bat. That's the only place I'm gonna get a bat from Louis. From Louis.
I feel like we're getting lost with bat subscriptions.
So
And you make that something the parents pay for.
I just
There
asked
you
the
go.
kid what he would do with 12 bats, one new bat a month, and he was like,
No, exactly. Just go for it. You don't
mind
care.
you, right?
It's not after the
Listen,
season. The player's gonna
unless
get
you're a
like,
fucking serial killer and you're killing people with bats, then
We're not going
you
there.
don't need that many
We do
bats.
not condone this.
I do
Batman.
not condone being a serial
You talking
killer.
about Batman origin story?
It's a cool
Yo,
concept.
like a
He said
Batman
even
Kill
villain.
somebody, return the bat,
Right.
they clean it, no evidence. I'm
He
just
said
saying.
even if they
I
were
don't
different
condone
weights, he doesn't know what he would do with them. That's too many different weights.
Yeah,
He
like
said there's
sometimes
no
there's
too
use.
much. Hot dog, too many bats. Not
So,
enough time.
okay.
all right.
Well,
So
now, we were
I
talking
want to
about
say one thing on. I
these
want to say one
robots.
thing on what you guys were talking about earlier before we got on the back combo.
I wish I had a beer.
Like you know what's a movie that also
That could
that
be
records like
arranged.
how we do things.
No.
That was Shia LaBeouf, and I was very surprised with that movie, which is Eagle Eye. That is a really good movie. That for me, that's more of a controlling aspect of where
Really good
technology
movie.
can go wrong.
Rest in peace, Shia LaBeouf's career, but really good
Yeah,
movie.
Shia LaBeouf, rest in peace.
Yeah,
But
his career's
that
not
was for
bad.
me one of his after he
His
left,
career
you
is
know.
done for.
You think so?
He's been in the news lately, but we'll
talk
get
about
into
that. That's a
maybe
whole
in
other
another
subject.
episode.
All
We
right, what about
definitely
Big
will
Hero
talk about
6?
I'm just talking about acting.
I need to
I
know about
wish-
Big Hero
Eagle Eye
6.
for
No,
me,
wait.
that movie, that's
Okay.
where things could go wrong with Eagle, like how Eagle Eye, I feel like with stuff like that, like literally, she
Surveillance.
had guns and everything in that dude's apartment
Yeah, that's
without
like the
even him
same
knowing.
shit in iRobot. That's like the same shit in iRobot, bro.
Yeah, but Eagle Eye did it. But you see, Eagle Eye did that in a modern time with no robots. They were just using just our basic necessities. It literally used our basic necessities against us. Basic, like literally, when he didn't even
That's
know
how
that
it
happened.
starts, though. On
How
the
the hell
internet.
did they deliver? How the hell did he deliver when you see the movie? He walks in and they deliver. He finds guns, missiles, and all of that in his apartment. How? How the hell? It used our literally basic necessities against us. So that's what it did. It used what we use.
Yeah, but at that
we
point,
use
with no
mostly.
robots or anything, it's not that compelling because it has to use a human in order to do that. It's not gonna fucking beam me
Yeah,
up,
but
Scotty
that's what I'm
weapons
saying.
in
It
this
sends.
fucking
It
room.
makes orders like if it was a human confusing other humans to work for it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. And that's what I said. It used us. It used our like intellect against us.
But it
What we
still
do
needs
daily.
human interface for it.
Of course,
Which right
I'm
now
not saying it doesn't.
we get little instances right now of that, like deep fakes.
Why
Once
you think
the internet can do deep fakes by itself and start setting people up, we're fucked, bro. How
Yeah,
many
we
deep
are.
fakes were there of Obama a couple years back? There's like 2 or
Hold
3
on,
of them
I
shit.
see. If you guys watch
And
Reddington,
one
you
made
saw
the
an episode
news.
of Reddington about that.
The question there is though, like if the technology itself became self-aware to like want to make deep fakes and frame people, like what is its motive? What's its end game? Because it does kind of at this point require human interaction. Like somebody has to manipulate it to make like the Obama deep fake or to to mess with somebody in, specifically a targeted person. But once like what would the internet itself or like robots themselves gain from
Raymond Reddington episode season 7 episode 6, perfect episode that shows what it is like doing that. I love that show. One of my favorite shows. Red Reddington is like one of my favorite. It was
Red
that
Redding
show
check?
talked literally what we're just talking about right now, like the interfacing of like doubling people, framing them to doing like a crime, and they're somewhere else in the world, but they're actually somewhere else.
Huh.
Really cool.
All right. Can I ask? I need to know your opinion on Big Hero 6.
Big
Love
Hero
Big
6.
Hero
I love
6.
that movie. I
That
think
movie's dope.
that movie was too foreshadowed by fucking Frozen. Frozen destroyed that movie because of its big influence. But Big Hero 6 had the better overall story to it. And why wouldn't it? It's adapted from a Marvel comic book.
Yep.
So it's a great fucking story.
Right.
But yeah, Rosa destroyed my pockets too.
La, 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 la.
It's a cool robot too. Baymax is like a really different kind of. He's like an inflatable robot. That's a really cool, unique design that you don't see ever.
Baymax is the shit.
Right.
But real quick, going back to deepfakes, let me show you guys something. You got how many of you guys seen The Mandalorian? I know we got some Star Wars fans here.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Nobody seen The Mandalorian?
No, I saw it.
All right, Louie, you seen it? You seen it? You seen the last episode of the second season?
Mm-hmm.
My man Luke,
Hold on one
I'm spoiling
second.
it for all of y'all.
Hold on, Jason. I really gotta deliver this news right now. I'm so sorry, but this is something that just happened right now. Brody Lee died.
What?
Yeah, my girl's hitting
No
me up that
way.
it's blowing up all over the internet. Right
No way.
now,
All right, we gotta look that up.
Luke Harper, aka formerly known as Luke Harper, aka Brody Lee,
He died at 41.
died.
What? How?
Hold on. Brody Lee has passed away at the age of 41.
Hold on, I don't know. I can't hear you. Yeah.
It's his nickname. Hold on, I'm trying to see if
for
they give
anybody
a
who's a wrestling fan,
Huber, aka Brody
we've
Lee,
lost.
has passed away. Only wrestling real name Huber has passed away at the age of 41. Huber was confirmed by AEW. According to his wife, Huber's death was caused by a non-COVID issue. The developing story. You can read AEW's statement below. Rest in peace, BD.
Rest in peace to Luke Harper.
Just go out to Huber.
Bro, AK for Brody Lee, man.
We're so
RIP,
sorry
man.
for your loss.
This is devastating for me because he was a really good wrestler, and me and Jason had a really good conversation about him a while back. That there's so much. There was so much
underrated.
for
Let
him
me
coming
say,
up
he
now.
was a great fucking performer. So he was a fucking great performer, bro.
You know what, Jason? Like, not for nothing, I feel like next week's podcast we should dedicate it for him because he was I really liked him as a wrestler.
Let's not say that, brother. Let's not say that because next week's podcast we have Christy Suar Duarte coming on the show and she's gonna do some channeling. So rest in peace to John Huber, aka Brody Lee, aka Luke Harper. Damn, it's a huge fucking loss for the wrestling world.
It's devastating. I'm devastated. I'm like blown away right now. I never like, especially him. Like, there's so much of him. Like, for him, like, there was so much of him left to give because he just got out of that umbrella from WWE holding him back from his creative ideas, and then him coming to AEW and developing that new character. Like, it's sad. Like, there was so much of him that he was gonna bring to wrestling. So it's sad. A lot of wrestlers died this year, and it's a really bad year for everything. But it's crazy, like just that it happened.
Yeah.
RIP to John Hoover, man.
Yeah.
Well, rest in peace to Brody Lee. Okay, now let's bring it back from there. Sorry, it went
I got a
there.
sports-related question.
Sure.
Because we're talking about like things that robots will replace, like jobs and industries. Do you think it's do you think it's possible for like robot sports to ever become a thing that's more popular than human sports? Because I think that's one industry that's completely safe. Like the human drama is really what makes us love sports. But like if you think about it, like robots, if you could like robot football, they'd be more capable. It'd be like a bigger scale of what they could physically do. But like I don't think people would be interested in it. Or like a robot Olympics. Like I don't think people would want to see that the way. I don't
They
know.
should have came out with that this year, so we didn't miss the Olympics. That would have been me. I would have watched it. I would have.
Nah. Olympics for what? What does it prove?
I guess it proves like the
Technology.
engineer's capabilities. Like,
Right.
Yeah, but then if it's for the technology, it wouldn't be the real Olympics, and then people wouldn't care, and we would have missed it this year again anyway.
Well, it would have been the technology on how your swimmer can dive or how your diver dives compared to my AI diver.
Before we get back onto the topic, guys, I'm sorry. I'm a little devastated as a fan, so I just want to do this real quick. Let me just get a moment of silence real quick. We're gonna do a traditional 10 bell toll in honor of John Huber, aka Brody Lee, aka Luke Harper.
I'm gonna take a shot too, man. That's
rest in peace, big man.
yeah, rest in peace, big man. So much you.
Shh. Rest in peace. I'm sorry, guys. Go ahead. What were you guys saying?
AI Olympics.
Robot Olympics.
Robot Olympics.
Well, China thinks it would be interesting, the technological aspect, but I don't
Yeah.
think.
Well, that's kind of like, isn't that kind of like them doing the military training, like a video game? That's how SOCOM was invented.
Like the VR stuff.
How is
I
that
mean-
simple?
Because now you're simulating things that we essentially need to do. Like Olympics are the one thing that show what the human body is capable of. You know what I mean? In the aspects of their field.
Yeah, definitely.
So now you're taking it into AI or virtual reality, rather, where you have a video game testing your skills. So it's just like the military one with SOCOM and everything, how it was first implemented, I think.
And plus, we use the Olympics to prove who's powerful in the world anyway.
No,
I
but I
mean,
think
sports being in the Olympics.
I would watch.
What was that?
Sorry to China. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's fine.
I was just asking, what about esports being in the Olympics? You think esports should be in the Olympics?
It could be a section. That makes sense to me. I mean, like the Olympics has been and always will be about who's the best one here, while being like having a sense of camaraderie. It's not about everybody gets a ribbon. It's about who's the fucking best and who's not.
Right.
We're
The
not
best.
each other.
The best.
But Colin, what
We
if
have
my
representatives of our people, like actual human Americans, representing America? A robot doesn't tell you anything. If you have a whole race of elves, but then they build a giant robot that fucks everybody up, are they now the strongest because of their robot? No. They would get stomped on by normal humans. So, I mean, it makes sense. I would watch it, but I would not watch that in replacement of humans going at each other.
I
Right,
feel like
I
we can
agree.
make a sport for the robot in the Olympics, like have it compete for it, like in it with the humans. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's say each country
No,
makes the
there's
best
no-
robot and competes in a
no,
way.
you couldn't put a robot against a human. That just
Not
Mhm.
against the human, not against the human. Like a section of like robots competing against other robots from other countries, just like how we have humans compete against other humans from other
But they
countries.
have that now. They have things like Robot Wars and shit like that now.
Yeah, but
No,
now
not Robot
they're-
Wars, but
we're
like they
talking
can
about.
have it do
But they're
something totally
actively
different.
trying to develop a robot fighting league.
That's dope. I was like, oh, that's dope. And what was that movie that Hugh Jackman was? I was just watching it the other day. The boxing
Real
one.
Steel.
It was on Netflix. I
Real
was watching
Steel.
it the other day.
Yeah,
That shit was based on the
That
Rock'em
shit is
Sock'em Robot.
fire, yo. That shit is
Yeah,
fire.
it is.
dope movie.
That's fine. I would come on. I know one of you guys. If they were to have robots fucking boxing the shit out of each other, we would fucking definitely watch that.
I watch
I
it.
would.
You
I
couldn't
would
get a
love to
human
see-
to
definitely
box a
watch
robot, though.
I think wrestling
Why?
would
I would
die.
love to
I
see-
think wrestling
I
would
would
die
love
if I
to
would
see
ever see that.
Mayweather box a robot.
If they make it that good, if they can make it that good, like a real life robot punching each other like that, I think wrestling would die.
They're trying. They're trying. They're actively trying. China, what was you saying?
Oh no, I was just saying the Olympics. I would watch it. It would have to be like not obviously a robot competing against a human. There's no comparison there. But as to we're all from the US, my robot competing against yours, competing against, you know what I mean? All of our robots doing one sport to see whose technology is the best and whose could withstand the water, and the robots still get up and be dry and be able to walk away after
I
diving.
think we got it. I think we got it on all sports in the U.S. over here. The U.S. for me is the best in sports. Nobody's ever gonna touch us in sports for me.
Well, I mean, we suck at soccer, period.
I was gonna say that.
But what about in basketball?
I mean,
And
from what I understand, like, there's other teams that aren't bad, but, like, overall, we dominate.
yeah, we're like that for me. The Olympics is just like a way to show power. Like, you know, it shows like what their countries develop, what they push more. You know what I'm saying? Like the U.S. will always capitalize on the Olympics because do you know how many sports we practice here in the U.S.? Me myself, I played 3 sports, 4. You know what I'm saying? I played a bunch.
Yeah. But
And
I mean,
you know, and then there's kids to train for the Olympics that they start from 10 years old doing gymnastics to get to the Olympics at 16 to win a gold medal. Like, you know, this is starting from we start from like freedom early. Like, and that's why nobody else in the world will ever touch us with that because the Chinese, they try to slave their kids to do it. They try to do all these other things.
All right. We are not getting into that.
No, we're not getting into that. Let's not open that can of worms. Let's close that can of worms. Let me close that can of worms.
Back to AI.
I think like what China was talking about, I think it would be cool if that was integrated into the Olympics because we're starting to become more technological and we have different avenues in which we can do it. I think that would be interesting to see it in addition to what we can do, because then it would be a comparison of what can we do with our minds as well as with our bodies. If anything,
one can already
more things.
One could debate we already have that without having it in the Olympics. There's tons of video game tournaments out there.
Right, but it doesn't matter if it's not in the Olympics. That's my point.
Well, it kind of does matter because they're worldwide players.
Like football is not in the Olympics, but it does still matter. But it doesn't matter in this context because it's not in the Olympics. Nobody gives a fuck if you're the best football player because the world doesn't play football.
I'm pretty sure there's a league that's considered the Olympics of video gaming.
I'm not saying there isn't, but I'm saying it's considered the Olympics of gaming, not it's the gaming Olympics. There's a difference.
I don't think it should be. I don't think the Olympics should be virtual at all. Like maybe virtual in the aspect of no fans, you know, no judges there, everything video, just the competitors. That I could see, but virtually them, you know, on sticks or in a suit doing shit. I don't know.
I don't get the whole let's play watch culture anyway. That myself seems kind of weird to a certain point to sit and just watch people play COD or Battlefield. It's like I could just go do that myself. I don't know why do I want to watch people do. They don't represent me. I don't know this
exactly.
Guy.
Like
I've been in lobbies with them. That would be different. That's my lobby, bro. Than you know. But
Who's to say I just won't have my nephew playing fucking Fortnite for me while I'm just sitting here and I'm in the Fortnite Olympics, but it's really his little ass playing.
right?
Hey man, that's money.
Yeah. But like that's also the future of warfare. Like instead of pilots in ships or in tanks or in like vehicles, it's going to be drones and like remotely piloted vehicles and things like that.
Yeah, which speaking of remotely piloted vehicles, what was that film Stealth? You remember Stealth? Where they were training with like the super advanced AI fighter jet, and then it was with the gang, and then they're just like, "Oh wait, hold up, this jet is gonna fucking kill us. It's better than our best pilots," and then everything went to hell. I feel like we either bounce between we're good enough with technology to where we get to a kind of cyberpunk situation or like a Blade Runner type situation, or we create something that's so intelligent and malevolent that it just destroys humanity or tries to. I don't know why we can't have a middle ground. I feel like humans, in some way, kind of influence our own direction by our own perceptions that we keep giving out. It's always an extreme. There's not often a middle ground. I mean, as far as middle grounds go, for anybody who may have played Mass Effect 3, I picked the choice where everything mixes together. Like, I thought that made sense. That was good for evolution. Like, technology and organic life looks like it should meld together. That's what I went for, as opposed to destroy this one, destroy that one. It's like, well, it looks like there's benefits both ways, and you kind of got to give up a little bit to gain some, which I get, but, like, I don't know. Humans are very fatalistic and shit like that, you know?
You're totally right on that.
I have a question. What about the movie The Fifth Element? Like going back, like the technology in that movie, and that movie is
that was
from
really
'97, and like the cars were driving, like everything was AI, like everything, the gun, the machine guns, everything. Like you put it on your arm and it did everything.
Even the food, like you just put something in the microwave and you just bloop, and it will be like a big ass turkey. Like I was like, "Oh, you're totally right on that one, China. That's a good one."
There's already stuff like that, but it comes into, I guess, manifestation. You know what I mean? Nobody can try to invent something without the idea, and a lot of these Hollywood movies give people the idea. Like, there's a guy that's building an Iron Man suit, and it's almost fully functional. So you never know. You know what I mean? But it starts with the idea.
I mean,
The idea sparks everything, and then somebody has the dream of doing it, and they do it.
Look at that Batman vehicle. Like I love the Batman vehicle, the Tundra, man. That's like my favorite Batmobile. Like that's a military concept vehicle.
But that's real.
Yeah, it's a real military concept vehicle. Like imagine that. Like I would definitely, if I was in the military, I would definitely drive me the Tundra before I'm getting in a tank. All day. All day. I'm getting in the Tundra.
There's already military shit that's trying to put robots in there.
Look at that. That's crazy.
There's a lot of shit. Robots right now go from stocking your shelves to ordering the stuff that's not on your shelves, to customer service. There's a fucking pop star robot.
Yeah.
Like I said, Sophia the robot is a fucking. She's a Saudi Arabian native, on document and everything. So robots are becoming integrated in society slowly.
No, I think they're just doing that so we can get used to it.
It feels forced, though. Like nobody's asking for anything.
I don't think so. We can get used to it.
We're just kind of like
it feels forced.
Yeah, like we're just kind of. It seems like we're being fed it for a consumerist reason. Kind of like I was mentioning before. Like nobody's really asking for any of that stuff because I think most people wouldn't know how to ask for it. And what's happening is that people that can see it and look into it are fixing things and may not be doing things necessarily like to any negative end, but somebody more often than not can see that and then abuse it. And when it comes to society, we don't think very hard about stuff as a whole. We react more than we actually think and then act as a whole, and we definitely don't vote with our dollars. So if somebody that we've trusted for a while says, hey, buy this new thing, it's going to be the best thing ever, we're going to do it, even if it's not true. Even if it turns out it's something like, I don't know if you're a fan of Futurama, but there's a Futurama episode where they're talking about the iPhone, and then they get it, and like it's in their eye, and like it starts to assimilate them and take them over. And it's like, what's in your eye now? Like, are you going to dig that out? Probably not. You're probably not going to do the very relatively simple, but a kind of painful, squeamish thing, because they know what your limit is. You told them with everything that you did. Like, they know people so well. Yep. They know how to formulate to where you're not going to say no. Even if your inside wants you to, your dependency is so strong, your addiction is so strong that you can't let go. And I feel like that's kind of what we're seeing is more of a continual feeding of addiction to technology as opposed to any type of real utilization of technology, because how much of the stuff that is developed and comes out that is new is actually helpful for humanity. Yeah. Most of it is a bunch of bullshit nobody needs. We don't need new phones for like another 5-10 years. Fuck that. We don't need that shit. Fix something else. Like, make it. How come we still have to build furniture?
And your old phone starts
and shit. You know, like how come everything's not
when the new one comes out? Almost 4
That's what happened to me.
But yeah, exactly. Planned obsolescence.
Look, that's what happened to me. I bought this phone, and look at this phone. My battery blew up the next day after I bought this phone. And literally, right after I bought it, that's my girlfriend. She's right here. We upgraded our phones, and my battery blew up the next day on this phone.
It's because it's all cheap stuff.
No,
I
feel
that it's like nobody's asking for this stuff.
It's set up for you to make you upgrade, and it's like set up for you.
We're being given
what
like
was that,
these. Sorry, Tyler's making a good point that like nobody's asking for this stuff. We're all just sort of being given like these are the options of what you need to buy to keep up with everybody else, because everybody else already bought it. You don't want to be behind, do you? So you got to buy this to keep up with everybody else who has an Alexa in their home already, who has a smartwatch on their wrist already. Like nobody 5 years ago is like, I want a smartwatch on my wrist, but now that they see their friends and neighbors have it, it's like, oh, I got to have it. I need to have that. If I don't have it, I'm not part of today's world. I'm not part of like modern society. And they make you feel like that.
A watch this Christmas. Had no desire for it, but it still found its way to me because that's how it is nowadays. Everybody's got it. Here you go. I see you don't got one. It's like, I didn't really want it, but okay. It still finds its way to you.
Yep.
Listen,
and due to the microphone and camera on there, it hears your shit. So once you get into that search bar, it already knows what you want.
Yeah.
I never asked for a speaker that could turn my Christmas lights on and my AC and start my coffee for me and can wake me up in the morning and can drop into my kid's room and I could see what he's doing and tell him, let's go, you're not ready for school. I never asked for that, but it damn sure is convenient and I damn sure want it.
I mean, it's kind of like an evolved.
What'd you say, Jason?
I say you're a liar. You asked for that.
I didn't ask for it before it came out. I wanted it once I seen it, and guess what? I damn sure got it.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. You wanted it.
I just feel like as soon as we see how technology.
What'd you say, Talon? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Help. Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't remember. I was making some bullshit joke. It's all
but I feel like soon as I feel like we just taking technology. Soon as we see like another person using it, how it's making their life more convenient, we're like, okay, you want me to what? Let me get it now. Because you see, I see how they're doing it. Their life's a little more easier and stuff. So let me see what. Let me try it. Because everybody's always a little more skeptical before they jump into something new. They want to see how the other person goes first, and then they get into it.
I'll tell you, I'm not that person.
That's where I think movies and TV comes in. Movies and TV comes into play that way.
Yeah.
Because let me put Home Alone, for example. Going back to a couple of episodes before. The Talk Boy, it wasn't available at all. It wasn't something that was on the market until that movie. And then once that movie came out, everybody wanted it. So they mass produced it and it became a thing.
The Matrix, those flip phones, I had to have that. I had to have Morpheus's phone. The moment I saw him flip that thing out, I was like, I have to buy that. I don't care how much it costs. I need that phone.
Yeah, see?
Yeah. Like I think it was the V60, was it? The Motorola V60 or something like
Yep.
that? There was
Razor.
yeah.
See,
It's just
I'm
like
the
a
one.
sidekick. Like everybody, I know everybody's had a sidekick here at least once.
I did not,
Neither did I.
Really?
Neither
From
did
New York?
I.
And you're from New York?
and I didn't want it.
Wow.
No, but I did
That's
have the bleep.
I'm really surprised because like me being from New York, like I got a sidekick because I had like a regular cool phone and stuff, but then all my friends had a sidekick. Yo, I'm the only one looking crazy out here. So I had to like get on it. Like I had the sidekick slide and the sidekick the LX. Those are for me the best two sidekicks that ever came out are those two.
See, that's not me. I'd rather lead the way than follow the way.
No,
Now,
I just
wait,
I
hold on.
jumped
No,
on
no,
it.
no. Don't get me wrong. I am following the way with technology because obviously I've seen it somewhere. But if someone came to me and they were like, here, try this in your home, you walk in, all your lights will come on unless you say dim. I'm all for it. I'm doing it. I'll be the first one to do it. And me, I'm the type of person, like outside of AI and robots, I'll backtrack. Like, I'm not doing what everyone else is doing. That's not me. It's not for me, never has been, never will be. I'd rather lead the way than follow the way. Even with fashion and stuff, like I'm not a name brand that's not me. Now, don't get me wrong. Do I have 150 pairs of shoes and bags? Absolutely. Are they all name brand? Absolutely not. I could walk into Target or Walmart and see something I like and I want that.
No, yeah, of course. Everybody buys to their liking. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like,
right. But a lot of people are out there like Jeezys.
oh
To
no,
me,
no.
wait, hold on. To me, they're hideous. They're hideous. Now, my wife has 50 pair of them. That's a waste of money for me, and they're hideous. Now, because they're here, if there's a pair by the door and I need to run out real quick while I throw them on my feet because I'm not going back downstairs or in the room to put them, yes. But, oh my God, I need those? No.
Are they
my God, I
comfortable?
need it. They are.
Yeah, are they
They're
okay?
ugly. They are. They are. They're ugly comfortable.
Yeah, they're ugly.
But,
No, I've always got that. Like
Talking about
for
these,
me,
right?
yes, those.
I like for me. I have
Look, I love Doug.
for me like I wear like you see like I like a lot of Jordan because I grew up. You know, everybody. But I don't
You're
go
from New
crazy.
York.
I don't go crazy how like a lot of people do. Like they go for every pair that comes out. For me, there's like I have certain select things that like intertwine with my childhood. Like certain pairs that come out, and that's how like I buy them. I don't buy them like like every month. Oh, I'm gonna spend that. Boom. For me, I've spent more money on Nike shoes than Jordan shoes because
Yeah, see,
for me,
I'm
like you
not a
see,
brand
I'll go
person.
ahead. I'll
Doesn't.
go ahead and if I pay $200 for a pair of Jordans, I can go ahead and get me 3 pair of Nikes with that.
Right.
And I
So
have
Louie
three
could come to
different.
me
I have 3 different.
tomorrow and say, hey, China, I made this device that does the same thing she does. I don't want to say, like I said, it'll go off. That does the same thing she does. And I'll be like, oh, cool. I want to
No,
try
but
it.
everybody, I use it because
I
of
know,
the group
but I'm
and the
just
aim.
saying. So I'm that type of person. Like, it doesn't have to be the brand of Apple or Amazon. Like,
Yeah, I'm a Galaxy
here,
person.
try me out. Let me see. No, everything is at like I'm talking to you on a Mac, but I have a laptop right here. Like, there's no, my phones are Apple phones, but you know,
See,
you get my point. Like, I'm not a name brand person. It could be someone coming out of maybe not that far though, because obviously they can hear everything we say. Someone random throwing it at me, like, damn, do I really want this random ass person being able to order laundry detergent for me because I'm running out? No, because that means he has my credit card information, but so does Amazon. You know what I mean? So that's where we go. Like, we're to the point of getting hacked, but yet
But that's not all they have. They have a lot of information.
But what I'm saying is we're to the point of, oh crap, my account got hacked. But if I walk in my kitchen after seeing my wedding pictures and a picture of my kids, then it says, hey, you may be running out of soap, this, that. Just say, hey, Alexa, order. And sorry. Alexa.
But now there's a refrigerator. Now there's a refrigerator that can see if you're out of
Bro,
stuff and send
I'm
you
on it. My
notifications.
kid works at
The
Home Depot.
Samsungs are
I
amazing.
know.
The Samsung ones are beautiful. Those things are like, my mom asked me for one. I'm like, Mom, that's a $5,000 fridge. No, I love you. I can get you $1,000 one, but I don't know about that $5,000 one. You know what I'm saying? It's a little,
I
but it's
remember
a really nice fridge. It's a really nice fridge.
But that's what I'm saying. So we're so worried about our data and everything out there. But again, we have our technology and our AI who says, hey, you may be out of laundry detergent. Just say my name and tell me to order it. And it's going to charge your credit card that I already know. That's on file. And it'll be at your door in one day, as long as you order by 6 p.m.
Seems to
Wow.
be kind of a generational thing too, because like my niece and nephews are like real young. They don't care about the giving up their privacy aspect of it, because they're like, every time that the conversation comes to that point, they're always like, well, what are we hiding? Like, we don't care if it makes our life easier. I'm not trying to hide anything I'm doing online, so why not sell my information or give my information
Right.
away? And I'm like, I mean, yeah, I guess like if you're not doing anything like that you would hide, I don't know, but like, but I still I still feel like even though I'm not doing anything shady, I still don't want the government to be able to
I feel like
access it.
there's a boundary. There's boundary to things for me. I don't order like how you see, like how you order through like Alexa. Like I would never do that. If I'm not doing it like me physically doing it, I would never like go ahead and be like, hey Alexa, order me this, and like I'm like,
I do, especially when the smart plugs that are usually $40 are on special. If you say, hey, order this smart plug for me, and it's only $5, and now not only can she make me coffee, but she could turn the toaster on, or you know what I mean. So yeah, am I taken over by technology? I am. Is my house? Yes. It's my 11-year-old.
But it started slowly. It started slowly. You know where it started? The technology started calling the police for you when somebody broke into your house, or even earlier than that. When there was a fire in your house, the fucking technology would smell the smoke and call the fire department. You'll be fucking sleeping, burning in your sleep, and people are burning, knocking your door down.
Protected by Viper. Stand back. That was even before that.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're right. That was even before.
Kit from Knight Rider was even
around
before
since I
that.
was a kid.
Well, we didn't have that, but you know.
It kind of sounds like from that perspective, it's still not really technology taking you over. It still sounds like man using technology to take over you. Because now it's making it to where whatever product, like say for example with Apple, they have absolutely no desire for you to get anything non-Apple when it comes to technology at all. Period. So when you integrate and you have the same consumer's mind that you should have of like, well, just because it's not an Apple doesn't mean I'm not going to check it out. Let me see how it is. And if it does what I want, that fucks up their plan. So what they do is they do everything they can to invest to make sure you get more and more of that thing, because Alexa is not the only voice control thing out there. However, they have pushed Alexa the hardest and shown Alexa the hardest and made it to where that's what you get. And they also made it to where it's really easy to get. It's really cheap to get.
It
doesn't cost shit. So because it's an easy entry point, getting all of that into your room, making you reliant on
that's
Amazon,
like the best Christmas gift for anybody. Like,
now,
you want to give somebody
while we're on Alexa, China, do me a favor and see if you could pull up Alexa's real initiative.
Say that again.
See if you could pull up Alexa's real initiative. There's a video that shows somebody, I guess I'm gonna use the air quotes, putting a code into Alexa and asking her what her real initiative is. And if we can pull it up, it says something very interesting.
Alexa, what's your real initiative?
It's not going to tell you there. You have to say a series of things first.
Now, let me tell you what's funny, though. See, real quick, 2 seconds, Jason. I just want to hit on Talon because then I'll forget what he said. Until recently, you couldn't cross them over. You do know that, right? You could not do Amazon things on your Apple and Apple things on your Amazon. So, for instance, I pay for Apple Music. I pay for the family plan. So I couldn't play my Apple Music on Amazon. until recently. Like they had that all blocked.
Yeah,
Really?
that sounds like
Yeah.
a business concession.
Well, when I was working in Amazon, the tablets that they have, they're Kindles. They're literally like all
they're
Kindles.
Kindles.
Like all like everything. Like they don't use no Apple iPads or nothing. They're Kindles, and it's literally what Amazon makes. Like the technology that Amazon
Right.
makes, that's what they use in the warehouse. That's what they do.
That's because Apple was trying to do the same thing, but nobody gave a fuck because Apple is expensive. It also was not attractive, and it had that entry point to where it's like, well, if I go into Apple, then I'm gonna have to go all Apple, and I don't want to do that. Whereas Amazon was like, yo, it's like $30, or if you spend $50, we'll just fucking give you one. There's that too. Like they just were giving it away, and because of that, they took over the market to where if you're in the house, you have Alexa. That's what you're
Oh
using.
man, totally right, bro.
I even
you
have
got
it
it
in my
right
car
there.
now,
To me,
and
it's-
that was
if
dumb because
anything-
it's attached to my phone. But I have it in my
Right,
car. Like
it's
I
good for
have
convenience, and
a
like
dash.
it's useful. I'm probably coming off very cynical here, but like I'm not trying to be.
No.
You're totally right, bro. Like
Even though-
you're like they give it away. They literally give it to you for you to have it.
It's like it's there to be helpful, and it is helpful, but at the same time, you got to step back and be like, okay, but like, how reliant am I now on this as a person, and how reliant are we as a society on these things? Because more and more, and the farther and farther we go, the less and less capable we are of doing anything. If we suddenly were transported to a planet as a species to where everything we needed was there, we just had to procure it naturally, most of us would die, and we'd end up killing each other's real fast, even though there is more than enough there because we're incapable. We would say, hey, Alexa, and then somebody named Alexa would be like, what? And then we wouldn't know what to do.
I wish I had somebody named Alexa follow me around telling me what's good in life. Real fact.
I wish
in
she would
real
clean my
time.
house.
Oh,
One day,
that can be arranged pretty soon
I know.
because they have those little robots that go around cleaning shit.
Oh, I have it. It's called a Roomba. You
Roomba?
want to see? It's right behind me.
Roomba.
Unfortunately, it's an older version that doesn't connect to my Amazon. But I
Yes.
have to say, you're right, Talon. I am definitely relying on her because I didn't even know that the Apple HomePod is what it was called. I had to look it up. I knew it existed, but I didn't know what it was called. And it's funny because I am an Apple girl. I have an iPad Pro. I have an Apple Pencil. I have the iPhone 11 Pro.
What the fuck is an Apple Pencil?
It's a
It's
white
not
pencil that they use for the
I know
eyes.
it's not
I know what it is. I know exactly. It's a white pencil they use for like drawing, and it helps. Like it's really good. It's really good. It's really good.
See, I was
But
just
Whatever
told that
happened to real pencils?
I was just told my macaroni and cheese will be delivered on Monday. Just so you know.
What?
That's crazy.
Order me some mac and cheese too. I'm running low.
I
Fuck.
got you. What kind?
Alexa, order me mac and cheese and send it to Jason.
I can do that. Hence how that mic was ordered. Just like
But
that.
keeping on the AI, staying on the AI subject, you know what's another good topic that I was gonna mention earlier before we had got on, which is that show I watched on Netflix. It's called Corbin, which they transfer sleeves from the neck. I don't know if you guys saw it.
talking about Altered Carbon.
Oh yeah, Altered
Yeah,
Carbon.
Yeah.
Carbon.
That is another AI movie.
You
Which
got wrestling on the brain, brother. You said Corbin?
no, yeah. Like that, like yeah. That's I got wrestling on the brain. Like
What was it called? I'm
but-
sorry.
Altered
Carbon.
Altered Carbon.
man,
Sorry,
it's
I'm just making a
really-
list with what you
That
guys
show like
say.
it blew me away because like in a way like it's like they're literally like their consciousness of your soul. It's like a chip, so you just slip it out of different
Yeah,
bodies.
it's almost the same concept as that series that China asked Louie if he's seen earlier. What was that shit called? Upload?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost the same concept, but they put you in like a robot basically.
What is
but
that
they
on?
They were also cloning sleeves.
It's on Netflix. So
Is that-
it's a clone of yourself, but it's AI still.
No,
That's the
but they
problem
were
with that
making
technology,
human
though.
clones. These were
Only the
human
worst
bodies,
people would have access to it.
regular human bodies with clones. Like these were
So
like
you'd have,
regular
like, a
human
bunch of-
body clones.
Yeah, we just
Oh,
have like a
that's
bunch
crazy.
of like the worst people living immortally. Like, I don't want that future. I don't want that technology to exist.
It's also sad because like it plays off the whole concept of the elite and the rich will take advantage of the technological gains, and the rest of us will suffer. We'll get it, but it'll be shittier.
Yep.
take advantage. What you mean they're already taking advantage?
I mean, look at the COVID vaccine and treatments. Like the president and like certain elite people got it, and then they get some super high tech shit, and it's just like, oh, they're fine now. It's like, what do you mean they're fine? What does that actually mean, though?
Exactly. What does that
Would you
mean?
take it if it was available to you?
Just like this $600 stimulus check, they'll be fine.
No, they stopped it now because now he's farting. Now he bitched up because he wanted to give it 2,000. Now he wants to be a good guy. Now.
And
Give $2,000.
that's only
And then my boy like, you.
Damn
And then my boy like,
politics.
you regretted voting for Biden. I'm like, no,
Okay,
why?
no,
Because I don't
stop,
have a $2,000 mindset.
Stop. Done. We're not going there. Please don't.
Damn it,
We are not
politics.
talking politics. I will shut everybody down, and it's not even my show. We are not going there. Please. Okay, next. Next.
Fuki politics.
Yes, please. Back to AI, please.
Let's
You
all-
want? I'll even
let's
let
all
you
stay
talk
friends.
more about wrestling at this point.
All right, you
Oh,
want to
boy,
talk about
back to
AI?
AI.
I think an AI would be a better president than Donald Trump, and this is why. So,
Who's to say he's not AI at this point?
I agree. I'm sorry. Where were we? All right, no, for real. Let's not. Let's just not.
Well, who goes to say that it's not already happening through mind control? You want to
don't
say
know that.
presidents and robots? You know what I mean? AI. A lot of them have already been controlled. A lot of people themselves.
I mean, mind control is definitely a thing. They released MK Ultra and admitted to doing that. I
Exactly.
think the weird thing is that people think it's like, oh yeah, they did it. It's like, no, they finished that project.
Right.
There's a difference. They're
That
done
was
with
phase
that.
one of something.
Uh-huh.
So the new project, we'll probably hear about it 10 years later once they have a new project. So like,
Yep.
I don't think there's anything going on just because I want to be optimistic, but at the same time, there's like a perpetuation of bullshit to where it's like, I know we have the solution to this, but for some reason the powers that be don't want to work together to fix it. So like, why? Like, I just don't understand that. And I feel like if anything, maybe an AI will be clutch and be so intelligent that it becomes a leaker of information and starts telling humans that other humans are fucking us over.
Mm.
And then we have the evil government chasing down a rogue AI that's trying to help out humanity. And then you have, I don't know, that would actually be kind of a
Robin
cool,
Hood AI.
yeah, and like it could transfer through the systems and all that. And I don't know. Now
Like
I'm just-
Chappie, my man Chappie.
Chappie.
kind of like Chappie, yeah.
Remember they put the
Yeah,
gold
right.
chain on him and everything? That was so dope when they did that.
See, that is the big question, though. That is our main topic. Is it going to take over? But will it take over in the aspect of killing us off, or will it take over in a way that's going to help us?
I think that's honestly up to us. I don't think it's even going to be up to the AI. If
Not-
we
not
show like shitty people, I don't think it'll care. But if it shows that there's good in humanity, I don't think it would just wipe us out. It might have like a one solution for certain types of individuals.
So, like
But-
that movie with Keanu Reeves, what was that? End of the World or some shit like that? Edge of the World, or
The one where like the kids get taken away, or something like that. No. What are you talking about?
now I got to look it up.
I think
Damn
that
you.
can happen like
See,
later on down the
this
line.
is where we're going to use Google. This is where we're going to use Google. Google's going to tell us.
Why?
The movie with Keanu Reeves, where it's the end of the world and he was a robot, an alien robot or some shit.
These came back from a search.
The Day the Earth Stood Still. Look at right
Yeah,
there. I
that's
told
the
you.
one. Yeah.
See, but I could have
That one-
asked
that
her
one's
that
about
too.
aliens,
Would have been
but
quicker.
still, that's a good one.
That was a really good movie. That was a really good movie.
It was a good movie.
It was a great movie.
I mean, actually think about and talk about technology and AI. If aliens exist, that would mean that they would have to utilize at least technology to travel around the universe. Maybe AI, maybe not. But if that's the case, then our belief that increased technology or like sentience about itself means that it's just going to destroy its creator. I feel like if anything, it's kind of a cathartic expression of our own state as humans. Because how can we believe that aliens will come out here and have all this technology to do so, but they're just smarter to do it themselves organically, whereas we're not, and we would need technology and AIs to do it. That doesn't really make sense to me. I feel like what technology and AI does for your species is based upon what your species wants to get out of technology and AI. So, like, if we have our military is the main proponent of robots and AI, yeah, if we get a rogue AI, it's not going to likely want to be with us, and it's probably going to have final solutions because that's how it was programmed. But if you have one that's meant to be more on the humanitarian aspect of things, a gain of knowledge and become more like a source of knowledge of humanity and like that kind of a sponge, well, that would influence a different direction for humanity and how AI might take over. But I think AI taking over and technology taking over isn't so much a question of if, it's a question of when and how will we allow it. Like it's not stoppable. It's a matter of how are we going to let it be implemented into society as a whole.
It's still a vampire. We have to invite it into our home.
Yeah.
For it to do anything.
Yeah, don't let those black-eyed children in. Don't do it.
I let them in last night. We hung out. We had cake. It's fun.
Oh man,
that's why you're feeling sick, motherfucker.
It might be, but you know what?
Are you sitting on their lap?
Huh?
If you go to
sitting on their
YouTube
lap
or Facebook page, then you'll see the episode that we had on the black-eyed children, and you'll see that Talon made a big mistake, man.
I did.
You shouldn't have let him in, which is why he's not in his car tonight.
With a bang, right?
Let him in.
You let him in.
That's a good movie, by the way. That's what that movie's actually about. She was a black-eyed kid.
What movie?
Let Me In.
Good movie.
Yeah. Black-eyed kid movie.
Great movie.
I would love to see a great black-eyed kid movie.
I wonder if there's dinosaurs on other planets. Like,
well, can a reptilian be considered a dinosaur?
That'd be cool, though.
Why not?
Can it be considered the next evolution of a dinosaur?
What classifies
Which is why
a
I got
dinosaur?
scared when. What do you mean?
What classifies?
It's just a word we gave. It's just a word we gave animals in the prehistoric era.
Correct. That's what I'm
Cretaceous
saying.
period or whatever the fuck.
Actually, a lot of names for dinosaurs are all bullshit and were created by the people who found them. And
Later on down the line. Correct.
Well, like, no, initially, most of the bones that were found was two guys, and they used to just go, there's a lot of bullshit when it comes to dinosaur bones and naming.
Right. But so, where did I see it? Somewhere they said that a cockroach was a prehistoric dinosaur.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Ants definitely, sharks, alligators.
Yeah.
Well, the Earth was so clean back then. Like
chickens,
there was nothing. There was nothing on Earth like messing it up. Like you know, what's another good technology.
Okay, wait.
And you believe me?
Wait. Hold on. I'm sorry. Wait. One sec. Sorry. Donna's talking about on Facebook. She typed the name in wrong, but a notorious club kid killer, Michael Alge, died at 54.
Who the hell is that?
A fixture of New York nightlife.
All right.
Oh wow.
I'm sorry. Rest in peace. But I don't know who the fuck that is.
My girlfriend says Party Monster.
Yeah.
Party Monster. Wasn't that a movie?
2003. Yeah.
Who played that? Who played that character?
Macaulay Culkin. My girl's telling me. My girl's like really big as a pop culture genre. So yeah.
He was one of the ringleaders of club kids. A group
Macaulay
of New York
Culkin.
City clubgoers who became a cultural phenomenon in the late 1980s. I guess.
Fuck, he died of an overdose or some shit? Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. He did an overdose?
Suspected.
God.
He just,
I'm sorry.
He just died. Be gentle.
I'm sorry.
Gentle. He passed away yesterday. All right. Sorry. Back to dinosaurs and not dinosaurs. And let's bring it back. I just wanted to answer her question because I had to look it up. So
yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know who the hell that was.
I need a sound, by the way, clip that says "Bring it back." That I'm gonna press on you guys when you go way
Does
far out.
does
And I'm going to
Lucy
push it
fall
and
into
bring
AI?
it back.
That can be arranged.
Make
Does
it
what
happen.
fall into AI?
Does Lucy fall into AI?
What was
No.
her deal? Was she
What
like
happened to my
programmed to be a
I think
dinosaur?
it would. That's the movie with Scarlett Johansson, right?
Yeah, like it. That's like for you to have that much power that you can control.
But that's almost like a RoboCop kind of thing, right? They put her
No,
consciousness into.
no. It's like some drug or whatever that gave her that was able to help her open use of more percentage of her brain, so she was able to control.
No,
You know
so
how they
that's
say
like
all these theories that the brain can control a lot of things. Like the brain, like they say the human brain can run a whole train with the energy of a human brain that has.
Then
So
that's
like
not
yeah,
AI.
but that's like the movie. That's like the movie with Bradley Cooper.
well, click. Or was it? What was it? Limitless. Yeah, limitless. Like limitless.
Limitless? Yeah.
So
No, but
nah,
this
I
was
don't
like
think
it was
so. That's
permanent.
not
No,
AI.
but she had control of time and everything. Like she was able to go all the way back in time to
But
see the first
that's
human.
more evolution. That's more evolution.
Right,
Like it's
not
Okay,
AI.
I just
evolution.
wanted to know if it fell with AI. I just wanted to know if it fell with AI. That's it. That's it.
Matrix
That's
definitely
a
definitely
transhuman
Matrix.
type of film.
Matrix falls into it because a lot of people still speculate that we're living in a computer simulated world.
Over a hologram world.
Depending on how
Yeah,
you
hologram world, almost like The Sims.
Yeah.
Like
Like we're all
the
programmed simulations. Like every choice you make is just like you're a video game avatar, and it's all like
Yeah.
pre
Just
chosen
ones and
for you.
zeros. That's it.
Yeah.
like player
Crazy
one.
theory.
Not like Player One.
Well, in a way, they're
Uh,
making it try to be that way. If we are simulated, so that means there's somebody controlling us.
More a thing where it's like you think that you're like living your life or whatever, but you're really just like in a terrarium, basically, like a terrarium built by some AI with everything provided for you to interact with. And it's just sort of like seeing what we all do with this environment that it created and our code that it programmed into each of us to interact with that environment.
It's the old brain into that philosophical question put into a screen. If you adjust a brain into that, like, would you know it?
That's
And
crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of like where it's coming from. I think.
Blue pill, red
I
pill.
think you can go yes or no on that. I think it all kind of comes from your
I
own
got the head blown emoji.
positions and your thoughts.
Like
on
that right there. What you guys just said. That shit just is like what Louis just
I'm a
said. That
firm
was
believer in like
that shit was
willpower. So like to me, what proves that like I'm not an AI thing is like I could have a super strong craving for like pizza, and most of the, like a lot of the times, 80% of the time, I'm gonna give into that craving. I'm gonna get pizza, but like I can mentally choose. I can decide like no, I'm gonna be healthy this week. So when I get that super strong craving, like I have as a human, as a thinking person with choice and like awareness and
But
sentience,
is
I
that
feel like
free
I can
will?
choose not to. I can override that desire.
Mm.
Not to.
But is that just a code? Is that just a code? Is it really you making that choice?
Yeah,
Or
because
is that choice predetermined?
it's an arbitrary decision to reprogram your own code, what we call habits. We get into a whole line of programming and stuff, but if you so choose, you can rewrite your code, and you don't have to do anything.
Right.
And that goes as far as
Yeah.
genetic coding of what your body presents as. If you change your health, your habits and stuff, your body's not going to break out like it used to, or it's not going to do these things because you rewrote the code. And when it comes to rewriting code, that also comes into like transdimensional shit where it's like, well, if you choose that and you're consciously putting out in there that you're not in a negative reality, you're in a positive reality, and you make actions towards that reality you want, you do a phase shift through different realities to actually get somewhere completely different from where you were.
Yep.
definitely that's a really good point right there.
Theoretically.
Theoretically, yeah.
So
yeah.
I guess the answer to our question really was it's not a matter of if it is. It's a matter of when does it,
Or
or
let's say,
has it already happened?
or how are we gonna let it happen?
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Before we hit final thoughts, can I ask a quick question?
No.
Pretty please.
Knock
Pretty
yourself
please.
out.
Thank you.
I
Okay.
said yes, not Mickey. Go ahead, please.
Louis, any based on
Rory.
AI and dinosaurs, what movies or shows do you recommend?
What? What, Rose?
Well,
Like,
we talked about a lot of them. Like Black Mirror is a really good one for like the dangers of technology and like how a lot of the bad things that happen in that show is a result of us abusing technology or relying on it too much.
mhm.
So that's a really fascinating one. That like I've recently gotten into Mr. Robot also that goes into like how our economy is automated and how vulnerable that whole system is. So that's a cool thing too. Yeah, I mean, I have a ton of movies that I can recommend, like Ex Machina. Bicentennial Man is one we talked about today. Like, that's a really underrated. I didn't see that movie until a couple weeks ago because one of my friends brought it onto my podcast. And like watching that movie for the first time as an adult, like I couldn't believe how philosophical it was and how much it was talking about like the rights of robots and like at what point is it considered a living thing and not just like basically, you know, something like a slave that we built to do things we don't want to do. You know?
Right, Rofi.
So Star Wars falls into AI. That definitely has to fall into AI.
Hell yeah.
So we can agree that in a way, Star Wars, and like in a way, you see how Star Wars they use the robots for like they're to fix things, for fighting, for everything, to cook, to serve.
Yeah, but Star Wars
also,
is not a good.
But
Wait.
Some of the robots also have a
point that it's not a good example because they're still slaves as
no.
people.
I'm just talking about
Star Wars
the
falls
basic.
into politics. We don't talk about it.
No, not even politics. It's just the basic, like how you see how like certain AIs, like you see like how R2D2 he has like a connection with certain individuals like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying
he's a
like I'm
friend.
talking that
like the
aspect.
connection
I'm not
he
talking
made with
about the
Grogu.
story. I'm just talking about how they have certain attachments to certain individuals. So like I feel like if we can be able to like because you see everybody has compassion towards R2D2 because he shows compassion to others. So like
Yeah,
in a way, it's more of a if you can connect like it's just showing compassion. I feel like that's what it is. Is if the AI can show that it has a human empathy, that
Evolution.
that we can live with it.
I feel like
Evolution.
robots in movies usually exist to show you something about the protagonist because the way the protagonist treats them tells us whether or not that's a good guy that is like willing to be friends with this robot and treat it like a person, or is this a bad guy that like just treats it like a tool, like a utility.
All right, so thank you for answering that real quick. I'm sorry. I will pick your brain after. I will get in touch with you because I would like a list of movies that I can look into that wouldn't bore me like Star Wars. Sorry. I'm sorry. That's just not my thing.
Cool.
But to each his own. No. I'm just saying.
Stop acting like you're gonna start watching movies.
Who, me? When I have time and.
Yeah, you didn't even watch Tenet. I don't want to hear it.
Listen, I am a mother. I am homeschooling a kid, bro. I'm still in class myself. I don't have time to watch TV at all. I don't even have time to watch my trashy reality.
You could be watching a 2-hour movie right now.
I could be, but what am I doing? I'm here with you.
Multitasking. That's what that we're trying to say. You need to multitask.
Commitment.
Already, any of you guys watch Wonder Woman?
I'm shopping on Amazon and talking to you. I'm multitasking.
That's the wrong
even
tag.
Ike tried to watch the rest of the Selena show while he was on live with us last week. So
my God. I know he's showing me off. I know.
Happy birthday, Ice. Happy birthday.
Oh, that's right. Happy birthday. It's not like I don't have laptops, a phone, and an iPad all sitting right here on at the same time. All right. I'm sorry, Jay. Back to you with your final thought. I didn't hear you.
I said, it sounds like you have your notes for next show.
Hey.
The infamous pink pen.
Don't worry. I got a list of movies that y'all both need to watch. So
What? No.
we'll get
Really?
into that.
Can I give you a
Oh, yeah.
list of movies?
Chance, I guarantee you and your girl probably watched them already. Because
All
the
right,
last time I
no,
mentioned
we'll
a
talk
couple
about that
of you
later.
guys seen
I'm
them.
sorry. Back to the recap. I don't want to hear about your movie.
Recap. What the fuck were we recapping? Oh, this episode.
Final thoughts.
Oh, we're on a show. We're on a show.
Back to the show. Back to the show.
So yeah, I mean AI definitely is primed to take over. I definitely think it already has. Especially if you go to Spotify or Apple Pod or Google Pod or Castbox or some shit like that, and you click the subscribe button to Talking Junk and the subscribe button to Robots versus Dinosaurs, then the AI is going to tell you whenever a new episode pops up. That way you can listen to us, and then you can hear all this banter and this just going nowhere conversations that make the break room because this we could keep going forever with this topic. Like,
I'm sorry if any
Bring it
sound
back,
bothered
bring
you
it
guys,
back.
because my nephew's texting me about the Bro TV situation right now.
Tell him he's late. He should have been watching the show. He would have known already.
I told him
Yeah.
to watch the show. He said he saw my message. I'm like,
Bullshit. Tell him to
No
watch.
sympathy for the late. No sympathy.
no.
Entrance denied into the clubhouse.
Right. No hot dog for you, bitch.
Well, maybe a hot dog.
All right, let's bring it back. I need that button. Please make that music bit happen for me. Thank
Right, Raggy?
you. All right.
All right.
AI. We could go on for days.
Shout out to Alan.
Shout out to Allen Iverson. Breaking ankle since Mike Jordan. Anyway. Yeah, AI definitely is primed to take over, or has it already. It could be debated for years. It will be debated for years to come. Not just on our show. Every week, almost on Louie show. Tell him what your favorite shows are. Maybe he'll throw it up on the show. Yeah, like I said, subscribe. You'll see a little bit of the AI taking over because it's going to let you know whenever our episodes are on there. You can listen to this banter every week on Talking Junk, on the break room.
Like us on Facebook, you'll automatically get notified when we're on live.
Yeah, you could also find Louie on Instagram. Louie, where we could find you on your social media apps?
Yeah, my Instagram is at RobosVDinos, and on Twitter I'm at VSRobots. So if you type in Robots versus Dinosaurs, you'll find me.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What's your next episode about?
The next one coming out this Friday is going to be on Ex Machina.
Okay.
Yeah, we actually were talking about Deus Ex earlier.
I wrote that
We should have
down.
mentioned
too.
it then. So my next podcast is going to be on Deus Ex.
Okay.
Day of sex?
Day of Sex. Day of Sex. All
Only
right.
one day, and we know what it's about.
Hey, no,
Speaking of Day of Sex, right? Speaking of Day of Sex, we took a little bit of a break on Talking Junk, but the first week of January, our episode and interview with Joshua Shea, former pornography addict. He brings a little bit of insight on the addiction and how to cope with it, how to get help. He's the only person I've ever heard on the forefront of pornography addiction, so give that a listen. Next week, we're going to be in the break room again. Louie, if you want to join us again next week, you're more than welcome to join us. We're going to have Christy Suar Duarte on the show. She's going to be taking spiritual readings, I believe.
Yeah,
forgive
she's
me,
an
Christy,
Indian.
if I'm wrong.
That sounds awesome.
She's going to be on the show. So we want to thank you for being on.
Real
Thank you guys.
Shout out to Beast Wars Transformers because you got fucking Megatron as the T-Rex and a robot. Like that was the coolest
And a
fucking
bot.
shit.
Yeah, that shit was
Like,
fire.
yo, I know the bad guys, but he's a T-Rex, and like, I mean, come on.
No, but don't you notice the Decepticons always have the doper shit though?
Yeah, they did.
100%.
Like like I like how Tyrese said it, like how in the movie how they're going through it. They're like, why is that the bad guys always got the dopest shit?
Yeah.
That line killed me, but it's true though. Like, what is it?
So it's
Starscream,
more
what is he? An
heartfelt when the
F-22?
heroes beat 'em.
Yeah,
It
but
feels like the heroes work for it. If they're cooler and they're better looking.
yeah, they got a rat.
Yeah.
That was one of their people. They got a rat, and what did he do? He fucking beat him. So I mean, like,
Well, technically, the rat was the bad guy first.
he was.
He switched sides.
I don't know. Y'all can watch Beast Wars if you haven't. It's so funny to watch, especially
Beast Wars is dope.
you know, like
Oh,
the story is
You
solid.
can find it for free on Tubi.
CG. Whew, it did not.
Dinobot's my dude.
All right, guys. On that note, good night from New York.
No, like I was saying, we have episodes coming. Content is king, and we will be dropping episode upon episode upon episode every week. You can catch Robots versus Dinosaurs, Talking Junk, and now, all by itself, The Break Room on Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, or wherever the fuck you listen to your goofy ass podcasts. Thank you
Good night,
again
guys,
for
from New York.
You have a great
Bye from Connecticut.
We just got Disney to co-sign our shit. Forget where I'm at. Pay attention to that.
Thanks for having me on. This was fun. Bye from Queens.
Oh,
Queens, New York.
I like it.
Bronx Boy signing off from Orlando. Well, Florida.
No.
Have a great night, Junkers.
Good night, y'all.
Good night, Dunkers.
Nice.
Hot dog.